for tuning in. This is OPTIBOTIMUS coming with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the new DC Collectibles Arrow Action Figure 2-pack, which as you can see has, well, Arrow, as well as Deathstroke. It even says here on the back, or on the side, it says Oliver Queen and Deathstroke. Now, people have actually gone as far to saying that that's not Deathstroke, and I think it very well could be. I'll get into that a little bit more. Now, a lot of people are going to say, no, that's Billy Wintergreen, but I'll give you my reasons, and it's not 100%, but I'm kind of siding with the fact that it could be Deathstroke. You see the open window here. You come, and it's obviously based on the hit CW TV show Arrow. You come around here to the back. You got a nice product shot of the figures, as well as a little bit of a read up here that says, "Justice hits its mark." Based on the DC Comics series, Arrow reinvents the edgy and iconic character for today's audience in a thrill-packed and visually stunning action series. After being marooned for 5 years on a remote island, billionaire Oliver Queen comes home with a mysterious agenda and lethal new skills to fight crime in Starling City. Wearing the dark hood of a vigilante archer, Oliver is fiercely determined to right the wrongs of his father and thwart those who have corrupted the city. This all-new line of highly detailed action figures based on the hit TV show Arrow features Oliver Queen in battle gear, as well as his greatest nemesis during his time on the island, the unstoppable killing machine, Deathstroke. Both offer multiple points of articulation and character-specific accessories. Now, the actual read-up here does seem to indicate that this is more along the lines of Wintergreen, who did fight him on the island, whereas Deathstroke, or Slade if you watch the show, was more, at least in season 1, an ally for him. So that's about it though for the package. I'll get into my theory about why I think this is Deathstroke actually here in a little bit. So without further ado, let's get this open and see how cool it actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Oliver Queen and Deathstroke open up and out of their packaging. And setting Oliver off to the side, that's the main guy here. We're going to take a look at Deathstroke first. Now, you guys are probably wondering, why do I think that this is Deathstroke and not necessarily a Billy Wintergreen? Well, my theory is this. For some reason, he doesn't want to stand on my rounded table. My theory goes that if you remember, Slade Wilson as well as Billy Wintergreen both were mercenaries for the Australian government, and both wore this exact outfit. Now granted, we didn't see Slade at all really in this. The only time that we saw this whole outfit was when Billy was wearing it. So that's why a lot of people do say that this is Billy, which I can understand. But I also think that it could be Deathstroke in a time where he was not on the island. And that's that actually looks kind of cool because you only got that one color. And that's one thing that I'm gonna stick with. I think that's one of the aspects that I guess you can leave up to your own imagination, but why don't you want to hold your gun? Come on, hold your gun, silly whoever you are. But overall, this is a really cool looking figure. It actually does have more articulation than the Arrow figure, but we'll get to that. But he's loaded with various weapons and accessories. First, you come around to the back, he's got this very nice long sheath that as you remove it, you've got a very cool looking sword. It's serrated, there's gaps in it. I mean, this is a very dangerous and deadly looking weapon. And as you can see, slides in there. And I love the sound. When you listen to it, that's just a cool sound. I love that. And that's just made possible by the plastic rubbing against each other. I think that's a great touch. I don't think they necessarily meant to do that, but I think it works pretty nicely. You come around here holding his big giant gun. And again, I'm going to get him standing on my rounded surface. You can see nice detail on this. You got some gold and black paint. Very cool, very heavy duty, and it kind of looks like he's got a bit of a grenade launcher down here too that actually has a separate trigger mechanism down there. So really nice not handgun, but a machine gun or something of that nature. I know somebody's gonna make fun of me. You're American, you should know all the kind of guns. No, that's not how it works. You come around here, you got a holster with a really nice handgun that can sheath right in there very nicely. I love the detail on that. It even has like a little pouch looking here. It doesn't open or anything, but molded into it has a nice little pouch there. Very, very cool. And then on the left boot, he has another knife. Again, very nice, very simple. You got a silver and black paint, but I love how you can just store that right there. Zooming in, you can see that there's a terrific amount of detail on here. It's all black, but it looks great. First, for his mask, you can see a very cool looking mask. Now, one thing that I don't particularly like is, I'm just going to rotate this all the way around, and that's kind of funny. I don't like the fact that his neck is also the same color as this mask. I wish that was just a flesh tone. I guess it kind of keeps that illusion on one side a little bit better, but I really think that if that's going to be a mask, then it should have come down there. I really think that should just be flesh colored, but I still think it's very cool. He's got a very nice red beady eyes. I don't think he had red eyes, but it's still cool nonetheless. And then just coming down to the rest of the body, you can see that he's got this section right here, which is loose. I don't think you might be able to actually rotate this, and you could oh yeah, you just slide that off if you really wanted to, but it's not permanently attached or anything. But you got his little grenades right there, which probably fit in the gun or something along those lines. But again, just great detail on here. It's so very subtle, but it looks great. It really does remind me kind of like Batman, with all the blackness and how he's got all this various armor on here that just is very functional. I mean, it's really cool. You got a lot of pouches here in the back. You can see that he's got like a bulletproof sort of vest on there. Very great attention to detail on here. Very cool looking. And like I said, he actually has more articulation than Oliver, and we'll touch on that here a little bit. So the head, as you can see, has a nice ball joint. You get it looking a little bit up, down. You do notice that there's a little bit of a paint blemish right there, almost like the whole mask is painted in this orange color, although it kind of looks like the orange is actually what is painted. So I'm not 100% sure what that is, so that kind of stinks. But nice range of motion on there. You got the shoulders that move really far in and out. I thought that this whole section right up here would kind of hinder that, but it actually tucks underneath this piece of armor, so you get the arms moving fully in and out, which is absolutely terrific. They rotate all the way around. He bends here. It's very stiff. Ratchet joints, which is quite interesting that they chose to use ratchet joints on here. So you get that. You got an upper bicep cut. The wrists here are on ball joints, so they flex a little bit, move in and out, and they rotate all the way around. He rotates at the upper part of the torso. He doesn't actually have a waist cut down here, but it is on a little bit of a ball, so you can kind of get a little pivot going side to side and a little bit of an ab crunch. Not a heck of a lot, but you can get some minor motion with it. The hips are a little bit, well, this one's a little bit loose. I mean, you can see, you just touch it and it's a little bit loose, and that's kind of unfortunate, but you can see it's kind of weird how they have it shaped here. I mean, he can move that far forward. That's about it, and then much further backwards. This one barely even moves that far. I mean, you can see that his left leg actually goes further than his right leg, but they move forward and back. They move in and out. Again, it's a little bit hindered by the way that the whole joint section is designed here in his crotch area, so that's kind of weird. It rotates at the upper part of the thigh. He's got two joints here at the knee, which is really very nice. Then you come down to the ankle. They rotate forward and back, in and out like so, and all that kind of crazy poses. I don't think it actually has a tilt, but you can kind of rotate it around where you'll get a little bit of a tilt action with it. So a lot of articulation in the guy, and really does absolutely look terrific. If you're a Deathstroke fan, this is a figure I really think that you're absolutely gonna love. I really think that the character of Deathstroke in the TV series Arrow is very well done. It's got that element of excuse the language, but badassery. I mean, you really have a guy who you think can beat the good guy, and this figure really represents that nicely. Now, bringing in Oliver Queen, otherwise known as Arrow, you can see that this is how he appears in the first season of the series. Specifically in the fact that his armor is more just an outfit that he's kind of sort of wearing. It's nothing too spectacular or anything. There's no armor really with it. It's just an outfit of sorts. And then he's not wearing his mask that was developed by Barry Allen. It's just using his green paint around his eye, which is kind of weird. Now, for his accessories, as you can see, he does come with his old bow and arrow. This is the one that he used right after he got out from the island, or back from the island, I should say. And it's very simple. It's the classic look. One thing that's awesome is you got an actual stretchy string here that you can flex. It's probably harder to see the actual black string, but I mean, I love that you can actually kind of launch that. He does come with a couple of molded, well, I shouldn't say a couple molded. He comes a couple individually molded arrows with some green arrowheads. You got the little feathers here on the end. very nice. And then you have a cluster of them, which is just all one molded piece. Then does this actually come out? No, he's got a holster here, where you would have a gun, but he's got actual arrows in there as well. Now that's all he comes with for his accessories. Well, he does come with some extra hands. They're just fists. They pop out, and then you just put them in just like so. The one thing, this one's stuck. I'm going to try popping this joint here. It's very stiff. And did it break, or did it pop the joint? No, it popped the joint. Okay, very good. So now you can have them actually fighting if you want to, not necessarily using the bow and arrow. But I mean, really, if you're gonna have an arrow figure, you might as well display them how I had them, with the actual arrows and the bows and things like that. I also do really love the attention to detail on his suit as well. Again, much like Deathstroke, there really isn't a lot to it. It's all very simple, but the green on here with the shading and everything looks absolutely terrific. I mean, it does have a very authentic look to that original suit. You come around here to the side, he's got another little holster for arrows here on the side. Very cool. I mean, you got the nice green panel lines that come down here. This whole section here, you probably could remove this. It probably would be hard to do, to be totally honest, because you see a strap going there, over there, and around there. So I'm just going to leave that on there. But you can also, if you really wanted to, unfortunately, because of the way that this is designed, the hood doesn't actually remove, but you can kind of just wedge it back, and you can see that they have a fully sculpted head of Oliver there. Unfortunately, the paint kind of rubs, and you got a little bit of green on his actual hair, but you can have that. The problem is that you can't really leave it like that. I mean, I guess you could. It's not very cool looking, to be totally honest, but the unfortunate nature of things is, with his arrow up, you lose a lot of the posability that's in his head. I mean, all you can really do is get him looking like that. I mean, otherwise you're going to cover up one of his eyes entirely, which kind of stinks. But detail-wise, the suit does look terrific as well. It's very simple, very straightforward. The outfit that he wore in Season 2 gets a little bit more elaborate, but that's not what this figure is representative, so that basically means we're going to be getting a second Arrow figure. And honestly, I don't mind. I mean, it really does represent two different times in the evolution of the character. So now for his articulation, again, you can see that the head is on a ball joint. I do wish there was a way that you could do something with the actual hood, but I understand the reason they did it this way. It's not too bad. For the rest of his articulation, the shoulders move in and out. Both of them move up and down like so. It's kind of stiff right there. They rotate all the way around. This is a softer rubber, so you can definitely get that fully rotating. The elbows here are on also ratchet joints, not as stiff as Deathstroke's, but they're definitely ratchet joints, and they also rotate at the elbow itself as well. Then you come down to the wrist, and this is actually kind of interesting. They go in different ways. They rotate, but then this hand here moves in and out like so, whereas this one moves up and down. So you really do utilize that when you're going to be having him hold his bow and his arrow. I mean, like you could see before, you can have this reaching back, and you can actually angle this to make it look like he's grabbing one of his arrows back there, which is very cool, I think. They both have that same ball-jointed upper torso cut. Then the hips move in and out. They move forward and back. Again, they are a little bit more limited just the way the actual cut is here. It's not very rounded, so it doesn't allow for a lot of motion right there. Now, unfortunately, unlike Deathstroke, he does not have a upper thigh cut, which kind of stinks, but he does have the knee bend. It's not a double joint, though, so it's not, again, as articulated as that Deathstroke, but he does have that knee bend. It also does rotate. The boots down here, actually, though, are cut. So instead of having that thigh cut, the boot actually has a cut. So I guess it's about the same, but it definitely doesn't have that double knee joint, so it is limited in that respect. Moves forward and back. This, does that actually? No, that doesn't. That rotates around at his foot, and that's about it. But so the real only missing piece of articulation on Arrow here that Deathstroke has is probably that double knee joint. So it's not bad. I don't think you can still get it in all the poses that you could really want to get it into. But Arrow is just as vicious and as athletic as Deathstroke, so it would have been nice if all of those points of articulation were still there. Now, honestly, I really wasn't too terribly sure what to expect with these figures. Some people have actually told me that the joints are prone to breakage on these. Now, fortunately for me, none of my joints have broke. But honestly, that did kind of worry me when I first decided to pick these up. But now that I have them, I'm really glad that I did pick them up. Arrow really is one of my favorite shows on television right now. And not just mine, my wife really likes it a lot too. Which I think it might just have something to do with the fact that there's a lot of hot guys on it. But I don't mind because there's a lot of hot girls on it. So it works out. But getting figures for the TV show really is very cool. And if you're a fan, I would absolutely recommend picking them up. I think they've done a terrific job of capturing the likenesses of both these two characters. And whether you believe this is Billy Wintergreen or actually Slade Wilson, it doesn't matter because it's Deathstroke and it still looks pretty cool. Now, the unfortunate nature of things is we have to wait all the way till February before we get any more figures from Arrow. And then it's like another 2 or 3 months after that before we get more. So these guys just really just scream to have more figures coming out for them, but what we have so far I think is well worth picking up, and I really do enjoy these. Now, I'm not 100% sure what retail stores actually do carry these, but I do know that Big Bad Toy Store has them and that they're in stock right now. So if you are interested in getting these guys, all you have to do is click on the link down in the video description. You go to Big Bad Toy Store and you can pick these up and add them to your collection today. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been OPTIBOTIMUS. Don't forget that you can keep in touch with me by liking my Facebook page at facebook.com/TeamBotimus and by following me over on Twitter at twitter.com/OPTIBOTIMUS. Also, I'd encourage you to check out my new website at OPTIBOTIMUSreviews.com, where you can see all my videos from the previous week, see what I have coming up for future release, and also get your very own OPTIBOTIMUS t-shirt. And finally, guys, I'd also really appreciate it that if you like this review, don't forget to please like, comment, and share this video. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.